Welcome to today's episode of So What's the Catch? We are calling this our MLB season preview show. Stupid timer going off.
Real professional. Great way to start.
I know. Real professional of me. I'm such a great show host.
Yeah, I remember my first hosting gig too, buddy.
I know. You would think I would be like an ace at this by now.
It's all good, man. It's the internet. That's why we love doing this stuff on YouTube. You get
Exactly.
live, you get authentic, you don't get hyper-produced stuff. You get the great moments of Josh's phone interrupting us throughout the broadcast.
Yes. Don't worry. I will put my phone on the work, do not just work focus, so it will not go off. By the way, if you are listening to this on Anchor, Spotify, however you listen to your podcast, we appreciate you tuning in. If you are watching us via Facebook or YouTube, we also appreciate you tuning in. And here's our favorite buddy now, the wild card, Mr. Chirk Berserk.
There he is. Now we can start the show.
And now the show can start properly.
What's up, dude? We were just doing intros.
Yeah, everything's been going good. Yeah, I had trouble like connecting on. The internet was acting weird today, but here I am.
Don't worry, we had our own technical stuff with a phone alarm going off. So yay! Anyway, before we get to all the baseball stuff, first of all, we have to talk about the Final Four. That was a fantastic game on Saturday, or Monday, I should say.
Saturday and Monday. Coach
Yeah,
said goodbye.
Yeah. You covered both bases there. I liked it.
Yes. By the way, shout out to South Carolina for winning the women's national championship. We were all wrong about that because we all said UConn.
Yeah, we did all say UConn, but I will never feel bad about picking a Gino Ariema-led team and them not making it because usually it's going to pay off.
Dawn Staley is a fantastic coach for South Carolina. They were the best team all season long. They were number one, I believe, wire to wire. So I want women's basketball overall to get more respect than it does.
It was a good tournament. There was a lot more parity than usual.
Yeah.
A couple lower seeds sneak into the later rounds, which is really good to see. I was bummed. I thought Michigan's ladies was finally going to make it to the Final Four, but we didn't quite get there. But shout out to Naz Hillman on an awesome career at the University of Michigan. She was a double-double machine.
Nice.
Yeah, one of my favorite U of M athletes of all time, hands down, male or female. She's great. And she's from right here in Cleveland, so.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah, look up Naz Hillman.
What high school did she go
to? I should know this. I wrote an article about it, and I have it in there somewhere in Cleveland. I want to say like Glenville or something like that.
Nice.
But anyway, and I digress. Why don't we get to the men's Final Four, though, and cover the – do we want to start with the Final Four games and go to the championship, or we just want to start with the championship?
Start with the Final Four games because we didn't talk about those yet. So, good riddance, Coach K. You're gone. Thank you, North Carolina, for slaying the dragon and getting rid of Coach K once and for all. I mean, he got destroyed in this final home game by North Carolina, and he gets embarrassed by North Carolina in the Final Four. Absolutely perfect.
It could not be a worse way for him to bookend his career, and I've loved every single minute of it. Being not an anti-Duke person or an anti-Coach K person, but let's just say I wasn't too disappointed to see him go out that way.
Yeah, I've been meaning to ask you guys. You guys have clearly shown that you don't like Coach K for some reason.
Kind of.
Is it because like him and Duke are winning all the time, or
He's like the John. He's like.
Oh yeah, that's the thing though. That's what I don't like is I think that they're the most overrated basketball program, in the past 20 years, and that's like part of the problem. So
it's like I know you watch wrestling, Josh. It's like the John Cena of college basketball.
Yeah, I do watch wrestling, and I totally get what you mean.
It's just Duke is just they get pumped up all the time, even when they're not that good. The fan base is very obnoxious,
mm-hmm.
and it's just like they'll have a run like this, but then next year they'll lose in the first round to some like crap school.
Yeah.
They're very just inconsistent year to year.
Mm-hmm. And how many times did they get knocked out in the round of 32 against a lower seeded team? And it's like, here we are again.
It's a ton. It happens all the time.
Right.
So,
I was shocked they made it this deep, to be completely honest.
Yeah. I mean, it's just Coach K makes everything about himself too.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what drives me nuts.
Yeah.
And then you look at like him being the Olympic coach. Usually you get like a run, then like someone else takes over. He did it 3 times.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
A little power hungry. My personal thing too, I got to be a little bit honest. I'm a little bitter as a Michigan fan, just as good of a basketball program as we've had over the past decade. We don't get much love, and we've had far more tournament success than Coach K has in the past 10 years. So there's a little bit of that in there for me. I'll own that part of it. But other than that, the stuff that James said, just kind of that's how I feel too.
I think that's fair criticism.
Who do you think's going to win the game?
What?
Kansas.
What game?
Wait, what?
I'm getting ahead of her, so getting ahead on the show.
I think you're getting behind on the universe a little bit.
I was talking about the game versus North Carolina and Kansas.
The
that
national
happened on Monday, dude.
Huh?
That game already happened.
I know. That's what I was just talking about.
I thought you just said who do you think is going to win the game?
You did just say that, jerk.
You definitely said who do you guys think is going to win the game? That's why we're all like, wait, what?
Jerk.
But yeah, okay, good. So you know that Kansas won. That's good. We're all on the same page now.
Yes.
No, but I mean, no surprise there. Half of the show called that one. So
yes.
I was hoping for North Carolina.
Personally, I usually like UNC more than Kansas. I don't really particularly care about either, but I just when you pick a team to win it all and they make it that far, you start to ride them a little bit.
Exactly.
So yeah, I was definitely rooting for them in this instance, but mostly because I picked them. I just think they had the easiest path, and in a tournament where teams were really physical and the more physical teams won. Kansas didn't have to face a lot of those physical teams leading up to the Final Four. And I think that that's part of the reason why they had the whatever you want to call it left in them to make that big comeback that they made. Part of that's due to the fact that they didn't have like the grind throughout the tournament that a lot of the teams did.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
It was a total mismatch between them and Villanova in the Final Four game. Villanova was just undersized, so they couldn't quite match up with Kansas, I would say. But
Kansas really do no wrong that game too.
Oh yeah,
it's not as much an indictment on Nova as it is a good thing about Kansas, I would say. But I get what you're saying, though.
Yeah. That is not a slight against Villanova by any stretch. Kansas was just the better team.
Yeah.
And then looking at the national championship game, well, actually, no, I'm not going to look at the national championship yet because my personal favorite rivalry went down during the Final Four. I had my cheer wine, cherry soda with me next to me. That's like a North Carolina style cherry soda. And I just enjoyed every single second of that game. It was exactly what I wanted in a Carolina-Duke rivalry game for the right to play in the national championship. It was high intensity, big shot after big shot, like edge of your seat type moments throughout. I'm just like, this is amazing. If you can't tell,
an awesome weekend of basketball. It really
it was good.
Yeah, very good for the game. I think college basketball is as strong as it's been. Coming out of the pandemic, there were some concerns about attendance and things early on, and that seemed to all straighten itself out, thank God. But yeah, it was a great way to end the season, and we've seen a lot of parity in other leagues and in other tournaments, like coming out of COVID, and this one was a little more chalky. It kind of got back to like the better teams made it to the Final Four, and it was. I don't know. It was kind of good to see like basketball return to normal a little bit.
Yeah.
Whereas the tournament last year didn't quite feel that way.
Yeah. It just feels weird everything coming back now.
Yeah, it does. If you can't tell, I am a huge fan of that Duke-Carolina rivalry, but in my rivalry series, I actually listed them as my number one favorite rivalry, but that's a different video on my own channel.
Anyways, the best thing to come out of this entire weekend, besides me and Brian getting our pick correct, getting to be the only people on the show here that picked the winner correctly, is we didn't get some Coach K suckfest for the One Shining Moment video.
Dang,
because that would have just been like a remembrance memoriam of Coach K's career.
The whole game would have been about him.
Would have been all Coach K. They probably had one prepped ready to go just in case, and it'll never see the light of day. And I'm happy for that.
Let me ask you this though: Do you think the way it ended has Coach K thinking like Tom Brady, maybe, and coming back sooner than?
I hope not. I really hope not. We had to deal with the 1-year retirement tour. Look at me, bullshit. I don't want to.
I know that's why. If all the people, he seems like just the type of guy to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Does he not?
He does.
It would fit his brand for him to come back and be like, "Yeah, I don't like the way this ended.
I want to go out on my terms."
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, I could see that. The only way that would be the only way I want that to happen is if he comes back and loses in the round of 64.
Yeah, for sure. Great.
Or not even make the tournament.
Yeah, I mean, but the finals game too itself. I mean, one of the best finals that I've ever watched. I mean, how many points were they down at half? 15?
Yeah,
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, and in college, that's a massive amount. Yeah, being down 15 at half in college is about being down 35 in NBA.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a big comeback by Kansas. Yeah, it was a great game. The Duke UNC game lived up to the bill. Kansas and Villanova wasn't great, but the performance by Kansas was so impressive that it kind of carried the event, if you will.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm happy to see the way it shook out. I had Kansas at plus 650 pre-tournament, so that was a nice little chunk of change there, which never hurts. So
yeah.
Congratulations.
I was actually surprised in the second half Kansas was able to make that comeback because with Bill Self as the head coach, maybe if you disagree with
cool
me,
name.
What?
It is a cool name, Bill Self.
Yeah, I've never thought of like Kansas as being like this big physical team, like with him as head coach. I've always thought of them as being more of just like a finesse type team that likes to shoot the mid-range shot, get the 3-pointer. I've never really known them to like have like big physical like guys down low. Yeah, they've had Joel Embiid and now they had David McCormick, but it's just
didn't they have one of the All-Stars? That one of the current All-Stars?
Say what now?
Andrew Wiggins?
Oh, yeah, well, I don't know if you would call him a big man though.
Yeah, I wouldn't call him a big man.
He's a shooting guard or a wing if you want to say he's not a shooting guard.
Right. Yeah, he's more of a winger.
But like for Kansas to make that adjustment and play more down low in the paint, get more physical, it actually took me by surprise.
Yeah, no, it was impressive. Like I had Kansas -4, so I did not win the bet on the championship game, but luckily my futures bet covered that. But yeah, I was shocked too to see him come back. I thought that it was done at halftime. I'm not gonna lie. I thought that they just had their number that game. I didn't particularly think UNC was the better team in that moment, but I thought 15 was going to be, tough to overcome. So for them to win by 3, 1 point shy of covering was impressive to see them come back and win. But yeah, it sucks when you lose by 1 point like that.
It was one of those games that could have happened. Either team could have won. It could have gone either way.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So, any final thoughts?
Let me ask you this: Do you guys like or dislike the championship just being one game in NCAA basketball?
Yes, I think it should go to 3.
I like one game.
One game.
Yeah, I like the one game. But why did it have to start at 9:20 on a Monday?
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
West Coast, that's
West Coast.
fine. It's just about viewers and numbers. But I agree, being an East Coast person who's used to being in bed by 9:30, it sucks.
It does suck. It's for West Coast viewers, and what they're banking on is that people on the East Coast are going to watch anyways, and that if they're watching, and they fall asleep, their TV's still on.
Yeah, and especially with UNC being in the game, like they know they're going to cover the East Coast. Like,
I get that.
Arguably the most popular team east of Mississippi. You know, they're right up there with Duke.
See, my idea for that would have been have the Final Four be on Friday and then do the national championship on Sunday.
Yeah, I mean, I'm okay with it only being a 2-day break, but yeah, I don't know. I've always thought that, you know, it'd be interesting to see some of these matchups go 3 games, but then I look at matchups like this, and I honestly think if they played 3 more times, that Kansas would win every time. I think that second half really showed that. So yeah, I don't know. It's just something I wanted to throw out there because it's very, you know, short compared to the NBA Finals, which is 7. So
yeah. I like that March Madness is a one and done type thing because it means you have to bring your A game.
Yeah, and it does open the door for like some runs by Cinderella teams and things like that.
Exactly.
Like those would never happen if you were playing 3-game series.
Right. And
the pros and fours coming up, and like that's 3-game series, and it's like you could see them maybe adopting something like that in the future. But yeah, I don't think it'd be necessary.
No.
Just
okay.
thrown out there.
No problem. So, any hopes the Cavs had of making the actual playoffs were dashed last night. I was hanging on by a thread, but no.
We're still going to make it.
Well, right now.
They're locked into the play-in tournament now.
Yeah, they can't make it to that 6th seed anymore.
Right. Yeah, that's done and over with. Right now, we would be matched up against Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. Yay!
So my understanding with this new format, though, we only have to win 1 game to make it to the next round.
Right. So
we can lose to Brooklyn and then win the next game against the 9 and 10. So
yeah, we still have a chance if we lose.
Yeah, but why is the first game have to potentially be against Kyrie and Kevin Durant?
We still got another chance. We don't have much to lose.
They're arguably the best 8 seed of all time, though. I get your point. Like that's a beast of a team to go up against when you have a 7 versus 8 matchup.
They could potentially move up to the 7 seed because they play the Knicks tonight, and then guess who we play on Friday? The Nets.
But are they
we'll win that game. We'll win that game.
But are they actually going to play their guys that game, though?
Yeah, well, you know.
You have no idea if they'll play their guys. And in the final game of the season, we play the Bucks, and we don't know if they're going to play their guys either.
Right.
Yeah.
So there's the opportunity for wins. So if let's say Brooklyn loses tonight, what's their real motivation to like play their guys the rest of the regular season? Rest them up. Make sure 2 very injury-prone players and Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving don't get hurt and get ready for the play-in tournament.
Hey,
I agree.
Jarrett Allen's going to be looking for revenge in that play-in
tournament. Maybe if he's playing, I think he's supposed to, but you never know.
Yeah,
there was a setback in his recovery.
I don't even get me started about Sunday's game against Philadelphia. I was at that game. I was ticked because there were so many missed calls. And if we had Jarrett Allen and Evan Mobley for that game, we would have beaten the 76ers.
Probably, but like, here's the deal. We started Moses Brown. Okay. If you're starting Moses Brown up against fucking Joel Embiid, you're going to lose.
Moses Brown is 7'2" and can't get a block a game. How? He's 7'2".
Those guys just suck at blocks.
He's 7'2".
The best thing he's ever done.
Who cares?
Cool meme.
He can rebound. He can rebound. That's about it.
I mean,
I would hope so. He's 18 feet tall.
I will say there was
an oak tree. I hope he can rebound.
I will say this: even though Embiid got 44 points in that game, he did have to work for those 44 points. He didn't have. I don't think we made it easy on him.
What does that mean? You know, he scored 44 friggin' points. Like,
it's just like, okay, we tried on defense, but we're still bad. That's basically what that's
Defense is
saying.
non-existent on this team.
And
The-
how's
the
Lowry
defense-
Markkinen on that defense?
The defense has taken they've fallen off a cliff since like
Yeah.
before the All-Star break. Part of that is due to Jarrett Allen being hurt. The other part is Evan Mobley being hurt. Not
Yeah.
having those two guys takes the defense from probably a middle of the pack, lower end, top 10 defense to like one of the worst. in the league.
Yeah, I agree 100% there.
Yeah.
I mean, Jarrett Allen's probably gonna make it all defensive team this year. He should.
Who knows? I mean, he's been out for so long, he probably missed out on that.
Yeah, he might not have played enough games to even qualify for that.
He might not qualify, and even if he does, someone else who played more games might get the just a little level or heads up above him. You know what I mean? So it's just like,
Yeah, I don't see it happening. Maybe second, third team, but
Yeah. Not first.
And why don't we play Ed Davis?
Ed Davis stinks. But by the way, definitely not going to be first All-NBA first defensive team. It's going to be Jokic, isn't it?
oh yeah, definitely Jokic. Duh.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
like,
Jokic
hope for
tried to
third.
win MVP too.
Yeah,
So hope for third.
yeah.
For Jarrett Allen, if
Third's
any.
the best shot.
Yeah.
I
Is there
think-
even a third All-NBA all defense third team? I have no
No,
idea.
it's just
I think
second
there is
team
enough.
and
I
first
think that's
team.
just- okay.
I
But
don't
who
know.
cares, it doesn't matter. I just want to win games. I hope
Yeah.
he's healthy and that we can have an impact with him.
The championship for the Cavs?
No.
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 Speaking of teams that aren't going to win the championship, the Chicago Bulls. Lonzo Ball is out for the rest of the season and playoffs.
That
No.
They're done.
Yeah.
I mean, what an impactful player he's ended up being for that team too. Like he has really been a good player for them. That's a team that's going to really struggle in the postseason for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Lonzo Ball isn't like everything his father hyped him up to be. Okay.
Yeah.
He never had a chance to be that. Okay.
No.
He's a solid NBA point guard.
He's
Yeah,
better than
100%.
Steph Curry.
I'm sorry. What did you say?
That's what Alonzo Ball said.
What?
Or LeVar Ball said that.
What did he say? We didn't hear you.
He said he's better than Steph Curry.
No.
Is that about LaMelo or about Lonzo?
Lonzo.
No.
I don't know if he said that. That's ridiculous. But
No.
he's a good NBA player. He doesn't have to be Steph Curry. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
No,
he
just score like 10, 13 points a game, get 10 assists a game, and get some rebounds.
He's a
Just
true point guard too, and
Yeah.
in a league that needs, you need a true point guard to have any
Mhm.
kind of postseason success in this league. So that's huge for them.
Yeah. Hey,
Yeah.
speaking of teams that won't have postseason success, the Los Angeles Lakers.
Eliminated.
And
They were
LeBron's leading the
eliminated.
league in points too. On top of it,
Did anyone see this coming though? Just
that
completely
makes
missing.
no sense.
What'd you
kind
say?
of, because I got real Brooklyn Nets vibes from when they have Paul Pierce and Kevin Garnett with this team.
Oh yeah.
I was also getting that. Now this is going to be fun. Dwight Howard, Steve Nash, Lakers Sports Illustrated cover. I was
Right.
getting that kind of vibe too from this. It's just like LeBron and Russell Westbrook were never going to work. They're not compatible players. They
Yeah.
don't fit together unless you stagger the minutes, but you can't. Then you'd be cutting into each other's minutes. Then
Yeah.
you got like Dwight Howard round 3 in LA for some reason. Carmelo Anthony, like what are we doing?
They had the
Yeah.
opportunity. The crazy thing is they had the opportunity to either get Buddy Hield or DeMar DeRozan.
DeRozan. I was just about to say that. You took the words out of my mouth, Josh.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Instead, they had to take they chose to get Russell Westbrook.
Yeah, Magic Johnson just came out and said that. He's like, look, I wanted to bring in Hield and DeRozan, and LeBron put the kibosh on that because of Russell Westbrook. So yeah, that would have been real interesting to see that team as opposed to the one that they have now. But
Yeah.
I mean, I saw it being bad. I thought that they would be an early exit in the postseason, but I didn't see them missing the play-in tournament.
Yeah.
I gotta be honest. That was a big drop for me, even though it looked bad. But I mean, it's just gone as poorly as it possibly could. And how
Yeah.
about LeBron's April Fool's joke? that he's actually doing? Turns out it wasn't an April Fool's joke at all.
No.
He was actually being 100% honest. So
Yeah. But even if they would have brought in DeRozan and Hield, it would have been better. But it's not like they were going to be a title contender. I don't
No.
like the fit of DeRozan and LeBron either.
Yeah. I mean, I still think that would have been a much better team, but yeah, not a finals contender or anything like that. So,
Like,
I mean,
I just found it interesting that Magic said that. Like that's the direction that he wanted to go, And
yeah.
like
I
if
mean-
they would have brought in DeRozan, I mean, that's just like a younger version of Carmelo Anthony that they'd be playing with that doesn't shoot threes.
essentially, yeah.
But
And-
he is killing it shooting that mid-range game in Chicago, though.
Mid-range is a lost art. It's very underappreciated.
Especially in the postseason, Josh. So that's a good point too.
Yeah.
Mid-range game becomes a really crucial when you're in a tight defensive matchup.
Yeah. On that note, before Giannis dropped 50 in Game 6 last year in the finals, I actually had Chris Middleton as the favorite to win Finals MVP because
it was always going to be Giannis. You know that, right? It was always going to be Giannis.
yeah. But in my mind, anyway, I had Middleton as the favorite for Finals MVP in large part because of his mid-range shooting.
Yeah, he's a great mid-range shooter. But yeah, I mean, I guess maybe possibly. I mean, when Andre Iguodala becomes the MVP with all of the Hall of Famers that he shared a court with in that finals, I guess it could have been possible. But yeah, it was always going to be Giannis. He's playing MVP caliber basketball going into the finals. He was just dominant. So
right, I don't disagree. Obviously, I don't disagree with the decision to have Giannis win Finals MVP. I'm just saying.
You're saying he was a very important piece going into the finals.
Correct.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I'm not disagreeing that Middleton was an important piece. I'm just saying it was always going to be Giannis. Like the Bucks win's going to be Giannis. Like when a LeBron team wins the finals, it's always LeBron's the MVP.
And yet your friend Skip Bayless in 2016 tried to make the argument that it should have been Kyrie.
Fuck him. Okay. I'm so tired of him. He's been doing the same fucking bit forever. He comes up with a terrible narrative and just rides that until it fucking dies. Okay.
Yeah, now he's on the LeBron can't close narrative, which is absolutely hysterical.
Incorrect for that.
Yeah,
for that.
and the other person, he put him up against Steph Curry. Steph Curry's only ever had one game-winning shot in his entire fucking career.
Yeah.
And I saw a stat the other day.
It's like, how can you say he's a better closer than LeBron?
I saw a stat the other day comparing the performance and clutch time between LeBron and Steph Curry this season. LeBron's doing better than Steph Curry. I haven't heard anyone criticize Steph Curry.
Yeah, I mean, LeBron's always been a beast in the fourth quarter. But, I mean, I remember, like, that performance against the Pistons when he was still super young. I've never seen anyone close on a not that good of a team like that. I mean, imagine if we had a better roster around him and he was playing that level of basketball.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, he's always been a closer. He's always been a guy that gets, brings teams back in the fourth quarter. And, maybe he doesn't hit every single big shot, but nobody does. I mean, you just can't. And yeah, Steph Curry only has one. And I'm not saying Steph Curry's not a great player or Hall of Famer. He definitely is. But it's not easy to hit game-winning shots. Like, it's the hardest thing to do in terms of a shot. Like, it's the hardest shot in all of the game. So I just don't think it's a fair criticism of him. And, like, that he's choosing that narrative to ride is just silly to me.
Yeah. I agree with you on that.
He gets clicks, though.
That's his goal, is to get clicks.
Yep.
We're talking about this asshole right now. This is all he wants.
Oh, I know.
Yeah,
let's move on. Let's move on from this clown.
Good
I will take blame for that 100%.
All right. You guys see that Eagles Saints trade that was just kind of weird?
Yeah, basically a draft trade. Yeah. It made sense for one side of it, at least.
Yeah.
I just don't. Go ahead, James. What were you going to say?
I think it makes sense for both sides, honestly.
Go ahead and tell us why it makes sense for both.
Because Philly could be in the quarterback market next year in the draft. Everyone expects the quarterback draft next year to be better than this one, having more capital to move up if needed. And next year's draft gives them the opportunity to get a franchise quarterback if necessary. Meanwhile, the Saints can add some immediate talent to their roster so they don't fall off a cliff under the first year of Dennis Allen.
Okay, this makes sense. And this is a really deep draft too. So for them to invest in capital in this draft makes sense.
Mhm.
And from that standpoint too, yeah, like the quarterbacks are not, it's not great. It's not a great class.
No.
So yeah, I guess it does make sense on both sides when you put it like that.
Yeah, I would say it makes a little more sense for New Orleans. I think part of the, in my opinion anyway, I think part of the reason why they made this trade is because they want to put more playmakers around Jameis Winston, because before he got injured, they saw flashes of what he could be in this offense. So maybe they think they can get that out of him again if they try and get more playmakers around him.
And maybe they double down on wide receiver in the first round with the uncertain future New Orleans of Michael Thomas.
Exactly.
We still don't know how that's going on. He didn't play at all last year. You don't know what he's going to be if he does play. Doubling down on wide receivers in the first round for Jameis Winston would make a ton of sense for the Saints.
Yeah, especially this year. I mean,
yeah,
how good there. Like they could get. Not that I think they're gonna get Garrett Wilson or that he'll be available, but let's say they get Chris Olave and Drake London.
Yeah, either one. Just
they could get both.
Yeah, that would be insane to get 2 of the top 3 wide receivers in this draft class. That's super deep at wide receiver would be insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
All right. So there's that. Next up.
Nice transition, real smooth. Nice segue.
Stephon Diggs got an extension, another wide receiver.
He got paid. Okay. 4-year, $104 million contract extension to stay with the Bills. Josh Allen gets him a long-term target.
Was his contract expiring soon?
I think he might have like 1 year left on his deal.
He was getting underpaid was the issue.
That too.
Yeah, he was grossly underpaid. So good for him, man. This makes a ton of sense though. Like the new stadium, you got Josh Allen. Like you need to invest in a guy. You know, this is the Bills doing what the Guardians just did with Jose Ramirez. You know, it needed to be done.
Yeah. I don't understand.
Looks like Diggs' contract is up after next season, I think.
Gotcha.
And now you don't have to have that conversation going into the offseason and in training camp about, you know, what his future holds and where he's going to end up because, you know, you have those answers now. So for a player like him to just be able to focus 100% and move forward with the team, like they're going to be good. Like Josh Allen's so good. So
he's incredible. And, you know, you look at the way the salary cap keeps going up. This is going to be a bargain in 2 years.
Oh, 100%.
Oh,
He's going to be a free agent. You just got yourself a guy that's going to be underpaid in 4 years.
Yes, you did. That's a very good point. Yeah, the value on these guys is only going to go up, especially with these insane rookies coming into the league.
Mm-hmm.
When you see how much success young wide receivers have already had in the past couple of years, like I would imagine those guys are right in line to do the same thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it's a position you got to throw money at if you want a guy. So
yeah, the wide receiver battles between Tyreek and Stephon Diggs when the Dolphins and Bills play, that's going to be must-see TV.
Yeah, I love that matchup, 100%.
Although Buffalo has the advantage at quarterback by a huge margin.
You're not part of 2 and on?
No. No.
I'm all in on Tua. I'm 2 and on. I'm all in on their stony head coach, and I'm all in on Tua.
Oh man!
I mean, good Lord, that guy's a space cadet, but I love him. I think
I love it.
He's awesome. I'm excited to see what they can do. It just feels so similar to the Baker situation last year with the Dolphins, and it feels like that's the direction it's going to go. To me, if I had to guess, if I had to put money on it, which I'm not going to, I would see it working out probably that way more so than him becoming a, you know, all-pro quarterback. I just don't see it. He just doesn't have the arm talent, and you have to have a strong arm.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Miami either signs a quarterback next year in free agency or they draft someone. I would not be surprised at all.
It all depends on how things work out, honestly. You know, comparing the Tua as a player and Baker as a player, it's very similar because we're going to see them in basically the same offense that we saw Baker in.
Yeah, that's
very quarterback friendly. It increases efficiency and it takes pressure off of him. The only difference is that, you don't hear Tua fighting with people on the internet, okay? You don't see him passive-aggressively liking tweets, okay? So when it comes to if there's going to be a divorce at some point, it's not going to be as messy as the one here in Cleveland.
100%. That's a really great point. Yeah, by all indications, Tua has been a great locker room guy. He hasn't had any issues off the field. So, yeah, I mean, that's just it's like addition by just not being there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just not having those issues that come with having a guy like Baker Mayfield in the locker room avoids a lot of the headaches that he had. But from a talent standpoint, 1A and 1B to a Baker.
Yeah.
Not one, probably like 28A, 28B, maybe.
Hey, I'll tell you somebody who's like 30A is Dan Snyder, because apparently he's withholding ticket money from other owners.
Yeah, I made a
better segue, by the way, much more professional.
I made a joke about this last week about him having 2 sets of books. We didn't know why he had 2 sets of books. Turns out he's just not sharing ticket revenue.
Does anything surprise you with this clown?
No.
I mean, it's every week of the offseason, it's a new Dan Snyder story. And I mean, we still have thousands of emails that are being sifted through right now. Like more will be revealed.
Yeah.
So yeah, this guy's just, what an asshole.
Yeah.
That's a good way to put it.
Yep. I don't have a good transition for this one. I guess we'll leave football and go to Augusta National, because Tiger Woods is going to be back.
That is where they're at this week, Josh. Nice,
Yes.
nice segue.
I
try. The big news is that Tiger has indicated that he thinks that he will be playing on Thursday.
He will be teeing off at 10:37, I think.
Yeah, I believe 10:37 is his tee time. He's still technically a game time decision, but when he sits at the microphone and says he thinks that he'll play and he thinks that he can win, yeah, he's going to play. He's playing.
Yeah. What a story, to have as fatal a car crash as he did, where a lot of people...
Not fatal, because he didn't die. But violent. We'll go with violent.
Let's go by. It's 10:34. I was off by 3 minutes. 10:34 tee time.
I've heard a lot of people saying it was like a fatal car crash where they thought he might have been in danger of passing away or something.
Well, it was a severe car crash.
Okay, we'll go with that.
We'll go with severe. At one point, they weren't sure if he was going to lose his legs.
Right.
So
golfing again wasn't even discussed for the first couple months after that crash.
Whether or not he golfed again was not even a thought anyone should have. Just dude, get better, get healthy, and do all the rehab you need to do to be able to even think about golfing again. But it's going to be. I don't watch golf, but this is a monumental, event happening because he's coming back to play at the Masters. I mean.
Yeah,
I don't know about
this event too.
Yeah, it is. He was the reason I started playing golf in the first place.
Yeah, I mean, he was huge when I was just a kid. I used to wear the red Nike on the golf course as a kid. And the black pants and the black shoes.
That is my every time golf outfit.
The
red pants, the red shirt, and black pants.
I worshipped Tiger Woods, and what he did in the early 2000s, Josh, you weren't I know you weren't old enough to really appreciate, but most dominant athlete ever in any sport for a period of time. I mean, incredible. I mean, he was winning 75% of the tournaments he played in, and there's 125 people in each tournament typically. It was just insane. Nobody's ever done anything like that. So yeah, him coming back is huge. He grew the game in a way that no golfer before him has ever done. And just him being there alone is going to bring probably twice the viewership that it would have gotten without.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
But I'll say this about Tiger Woods being a diehard fan my whole life. He does not play if he doesn't think he can win. So I think people should be really worried. He's got a real shot at winning this thing. And I don't know if anybody, had a chance to watch him in the I can't remember the name of the tournament when he played with his son, Charlie. but those tournaments keep the same, advanced analytics stats that PGA events do. He was hitting the ball. I mean, and his ball speed was as high as it's ever been in his career. Just everything about him looked great, and they almost won the whole thing. And his son is 10 years old. So it just speaks volumes. John Daly was playing with his son who was in college, and they almost beat him. So yeah, Tiger's, if he can walk this distance and not get super fatigued, he's got a real shot at winning this thing.
Yeah. I'm trying to look up the odds for
plus 5,000 was the odds for Tiger winning the Masters.
No, I meant like 40 to 1 or like that type.
That would be 50 to 1 or 500 to 1 or 50 to 1.
Oh, got it.
Yeah.
I thought at one point it was up to 40 to 1.
50 to 1 is higher than 40 to 1. So do you mean that it got better? His odds got better?
I think so.
They might. After him saying he thinks he can win, I'm sure that number dropped. I got it at plus 5,000 immediately a couple days ago.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't know what it was now, but
he probably won't win. But if Tiger Woods is taking a chance on, why the hell not? I mean, if you're just putting, I'm going to throw $5 on this, then like whatever. You know what I mean?
I mean, a $10 bet would win you $500. So
yeah.
It's why not? He probably will not win this thing. The field is very, very strong. But if there's a course and a tournament that he can do it in, it's this Masters tournament. He plays that course in a way that very few before him have played. And I mean, the course hasn't changed much over the years in terms of like its layout, but in terms of length, it's playing hundreds of yards longer than it did before Tiger entered the tournament. So in a way, he's totally reshaped the Masters tournament because they had to make things tougher.
Which is worth it.
So I think he's got a shot to win. I don't think that he will, but at plus 5,000, why not?
Yeah, I just looked up the odds on The Athletic, and it is at plus 5,000 right now.
Cool. Yeah,
double check on that.
Yeah, golf's better when Tiger's playing. It's always better for the game when he's playing. So.
Yeah, I agree with you.
I just hope he makes the cut and plays all weekend, but there's a good chance that he might not do that. So
yeah, I'm not a huge golf fan because it's just hard for me to sit down and watch it, but I do appreciate it. So I respect what Tiger is doing.
It's a hard game, and when you've gone through the physical challenges that he's went throughout his career with the back surgeries. Fusions and all the stuff. James, a little bit about that.
Yeah.
Imagine playing 72 holes and walking it on the Masters course. It'd probably be a little tiring. You know what I mean? It's not an easy thing to do with the procedures that he's had. So, and can I just say this before we move on from golf? Let him drive in a fucking cart. It's Tiger.
I was going to say that.
Give up this old bullshit stuff that you can't. I just cannot believe that they won't just let him ride in a cart. Have a medical exemption for him.
Why is everyone still walking the course?
That's what I mean.
Here. I'm so tired of you gotta walk.
I want to bring this up.
I hate the walking the course. It's so dumb. I walked a golf course once. It was the worst experience of my life.
It's terrible. And pace of play is one thing that viewers hate. It's a very slow game. Put people on carts, the game speeds up. I mean, double the pace immediately. But if Tiger didn't have to walk, that wouldn't be plus 5,000. It would be probably like plus 500 odds. Mm-hmm. He would be in that legit of a chance. But because he has to walk on that thing, it's just you never know how it's going to end up. But probably not good.
Yeah, I think it's like I agree with you. It's total bullshit that they still have to walk.
Yeah,
like really, can't we? What's wrong with them driving a golf cart?
Yeah, it's just old white.
They're professionals. They would stay on the cart path. They're not going to be the drunk assholes at the local course that just go all over the place. Then hit balls in your direction, almost hit you, maybe hit your cart. Like
cart path only. It's called cart path only golf. They could do it easily, and the people in the crowd do much more damage to the golf course than a golf cart would.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like the argument that it's bad for the course. You just can't do that. It's just old, boring white people wanting things to stay the same because that's how they've always been.
Well, it is in Georgia. So
Did you just say old white dudes? Why he thinks to say the same way? Gosh, that sounds like every other major sports league.
Yeah, it's kind of a problem. That's why guys like Tiger Woods are great for the game. So,
and one of those great big four major sports leagues is starting up again tomorrow, and that is Major League Baseball. That's why I'm wearing a Mariners shirt. He's wearing New York Mets. There we go. And he's wearing a Cleveland Guardians Grateful Dead shirt.
That's pretty awesome.
Awesome shirt. Thank you, Homage. Shout out.
Yep.
I'm a
They
big
didn't give it to me. I paid for it, so I don't know what I'm thanking them for, but awesome job, Homage, I should say.
I love your hashtag, by the way, Guardians World Series Champions 2022.
Oh, yeah, you guys didn't pick them?
No.
Oh.
No.
I guess mine might look a little different than yours.
All right. But let's start with the Guardians. Jose Ramirez got an extension.
Yes.
He did. This was very, very down to the wire. It seemed like it wasn't going to happen. It was a 5-year, $124 million deal. Apparently, if there was not going to be an extension agreed upon, he was going to get traded.
Yeah. It sounded like we were interested in, trading with the Padres for a couple people, wasn't it?
No names were mentioned from the Padres, but the Padres have been active on the trade market.
Okay.
The
speculation was they
were making a push. I was just throwing stuff up against the wall, being like, they keep trying to get rid of Eric Hosmer and Will Myers again. We'll probably end up with those two clowns.
I didn't know if that was a legit rumor or something.
No. I just made it up. Then I'm like, he's not going to need another middle infielder because they're probably going to make him play second after Tatis comes back. So they're probably going to send us Jake Cronenworth. Then we get broken Mackenzie Gore or something because he's completely fallen off a cliff.
Right. This is a huge deal for the Guardians. For one, it's because it's the Dolans and they never spend money. So, I mean, thank God a lot of people weren't too optimistic that this would happen. The other thing is he's a great defensive player too. He's not just a guy that rakes. He's a great defender. And yeah, I mean, they're a better team with him on it, hands down. I don't know many trades that could have shook out very well for us without it being prospects that you never know if they're going to be that good or not,
Exactly.
So I'm thrilled about it.
I am too.
More than I am excited about it like you guys are, but I'm extremely surprised that this deal actually happened because it's the Dolans. They don't like to spend money on free agents and
anything. They don't like to spend money on anything.
Exactly.
Well, they have a similar problem that like what the Las Vegas Raiders have. They're not a wealthy, cash wealthy team, or
right.
You know what I mean. There's a reason why a couple years ago the Raiders traded away Amari Cooper and Von Miller. They didn't have the financial assets to pay them.
Right.
You mean Khalil Mack?
Oh yeah, Khalil Mack. My bad. I don't know why I said Von Miller. But you get the idea. But the point is, their attorneys that bought the team when, 20-something years ago. They have some, financial wealth that they're pulling from. They're not the richest owners in baseball like Steve Cohen. They're not pulling in money from other ventures. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's not the same for other teams as it is for Cleveland.
Yeah. That's a very good point. We have to operate under a different set of expectations than other teams because we don't have the financial capital to spend the way that other teams spend.
Yeah.
That's a very good point. Do we have any hope of ever getting them the hell out of here?
I think so. I think Blitzer might eventually take 100% ownership from them.
He's not even in the picture right now. So until they actually say he's been brought on as a minority owner, I'm not going to count him as being a factor for anything.
Yeah.
There was a whole bunch of talk before the lockout about him being a minority owner, then radio silence. I haven't heard that damn thing since the lockout ended. So where are we at with that?
I have no fucking clue.
The plan apparently was for him to have I think it's like a 20 or 30% stake or something like that, and it's to slowly increase year over year until he becomes majority owner. I think that was the plan that was thrown out there, but I haven't heard shit since November.
Yeah, it's been a long time since we heard anything more about that, really.
The only people bringing up Blitzer's name are fans. I haven't heard, a reporter or the team mention Blitzer once.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it sucks. But it's part of it. It's part of being a Guardians fan is we know that this is how we have to operate. So, yeah, it's a bummer. I mean, it's probably the most exciting news to start the year with because there's not all that much to be optimistic about around the rest of the organization. So,
are you guys going to watch the season opener tomorrow against the Kansas City Royals?
Of course. I'm going to be watching the Cubs game first because the Red Sox-Yankees game got banged tomorrow. So the first game is going to be Cubs at 2:00. Then once we get to 4:00, I'll be watching the Guardians take on the Kansas City Royals.
Wait, that's a 4:00 game?
4:00 game.
Oh, okay.
Don't question me.
Yeah.
You don't think I planned out my day for tomorrow like weeks in advance? Okay,
this is a national holiday
day since the lockout ended. I'm like, I want to know what games are getting played when, what time the Guardians are on, who I'm watching before, and who I'm watching after. Okay.
Yeah, I'm 100% all in on baseball this year. I have. Fortunately, career path stuff, I've got more time to watch baseball. Super grateful for that because, I was a store manager for a long time. I didn't get to watch much baseball. And MLB, there's 162 games. The teams are large. It's a lot to keep up with, and this is the first year I'm really going all in and, I have the time to dedicate to it. So, I'm just so excited to watch this year and see how things play out. I'm excited to make our picks on here. Because this is the first off season that I'm like, oh, I feel ready to go for this. You know what I mean? I'm all in on baseball. So happy that it's back. So happy Jose is back. So I'll be watching every single game that I can.
That's awesome. Before we get to the preview, there are two other things I wanted to mention first. But before that, our first baseball trivia question of the baseball segment.
Are you
ready?
I'm ready.
Sure.
Who is the only person to throw a no-hitter on opening day?
Ooh.
Only pitch.
Was Galarraga's opening day?
Galarraga should have gotten a no-hitter, but...
Oh, that's right.
That was the imperfect game by Jim Joyce. Shout out Jason Donald.
Hey, look who's back.
Okay, ask the question one more time. So
okay. Trick, we're doing baseball trivia in between our baseball topics here. Who's the only pitcher to throw a no-hitter on opening day?
Cliff Lee?
It is not Cliff Lee.
I'm going to guess.
I'm going to...
Is it Bob Feller?
Yes, it is the heater from Bob Feller.
Bob Feller. I also have an autographed baseball. I don't have it right next to me. I should have had it. If I known it was going to be a trivia answer, I would have brought it. But yeah,
well, I just have it behind me on my shelf, so I went and grabbed it.
I knew he had a whole bunch of them. I just didn't know if he did any on opening day.
Opening day. Yeah. Every single year, I watch to be like, is someone going to throw a no-hitter? Is someone going to throw a no-hitter on opening day? So Bob Feller. Okay.
I'm on the board.
1 point for Brian. All right, so
it's weird doing a trivia thing and not having Kramer be the one asking questions.
The weird thing is that I'm not going to win.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
All right, so all 42s this year for Jackie Robinson Day are going to be Dodger blue in honor of the 75th anniversary of Jackie Robinson breaking the color barrier. I think this is awesome.
I love this.
It's one of the best colors in sports, period. So hell yeah.
It's so good. It's such a good color.
Jackie Robinson Day is one of the best things that MLB does. I think they do that well. I love that they honor him yearly. It's awesome. Yeah, I think this is great. How could anyone not be all for this, unless you're a super Dodger hater?
Yeah. When I saw that the Guardians were going to be playing at home against San Francisco on Jackie Robinson Day, I so badly wanted to go because I love Jackie Robinson Day. Unfortunately, I can't because it just so happens to be the first night of Seder for Passover. So, yeah, that's not happening.
That's a thing. Sure. I know.
Maybe you can go next year for Jackie Robinson Day.
Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe you'll find a time for that. We had a development in preventing sign stealing. PitchCom.
Tell me more about this because I don't know really anything about it.
So what it is that a catcher has something like on his wrist, kind of like an Apple Watch, but not that. And he tells him, indicates which pitch and where he wants it, like fastball, high, and inside, right? And there's a little like sound thing built into the sweatband of the hat that the pitcher's wearing that will audibly tell him what pitch and location, but it's not loud enough that anyone can hear besides the pitcher.
Yep.
Okay.
As a catcher, it's like, oh, this feels weird, like operating like machinery during the game. Like I don't know how I feel about incorporating technology into like my defensive game plan stuff. It's just kind of weird to me. But I like it because the less cheating there is, the better, you know?
Yeah.
And this solves a problem. And it's like, it's 2022. We have all this great tech. Why not use it, you know? So if they can do this in a way that it's not hackable, then I'm all for it.
So you're saying instead of like putting down the numbers and going like 2, 4, whatever it is, they're getting rid of that and going to this new system.
That's what they're going to do. The teams that want to do it will do. I think about half the league is half the teams are doing it. It depends on if the pitcher wants it. But what this actually is going to do is going to help address something that baseball has been trying to fix for years, and that's pace of play. Because you're not going to be having a guy sitting there doing signs and then the pitcher shaking him off. Then he does another set of signs, the pitcher shake him off again.
And being a catcher too, when you play a team that like steals signs and stuff like that, like
Astros,
you're gonna have to call time a couple times every inning to redo your signs. Like I regularly would have to go to the mound and switch signs as a catcher. You don't got to do this anymore, which is awesome. So that saves a lot of mound visits. And mound visits take up a lot of time. So I think it's a great solution for a problem that's been pretty prevalent in cheating lately. So I'm for it.
I'm a big fan of this, just because it's going to cut down on cheating. It's going to cut down on sign stealing. It's going to cut down on dead time in baseball. Yeah. Just sitting there watching guys cycle through signs, even though not seeing guys like Francisco Cervelli with nail polish on his fingernails and his knuckles and stuff. You're going to miss seeing that, but shout out to former Yankee and Pirate Francisco Cervelli.
Shout out.
Yeah, shout out.
He's the first one I remember. I can actually remember doing it and registering. That guy's got fingernail polish on.
I did it a few times, but yeah.
Damn.
The only time I ever did it is because I was catching for a guy who had serious vision problems. I really had to. But I would just wear tape around my knuckles.
Gotcha.
So you see the white tape, it's really easy.
Next.
But we used a lot of physical signals, not numbers. It would be a lot of face, mask, shoulders, stuff like that. So
could the other team recognize it usually?
I mean, that's why we switch them up every inning. Before we go out there, go over signals. That's what pitchers and catchers usually do between innings. So, but it takes a lot of time. It eats up a lot of time to constantly cycle your signals and stuff. And it also causes some mistakes that can be devastating.
Yeah, if you forget, if you switch up the signs and forget that you switched the signs, and the catcher wants a fastball, high and away, and you read it as change up low and in, you're just going to give up a bomb.
Yeah, not good. So that's another problem that this eliminates. So I think it's great for pitchers for sure. But I don't see how this would be a bad thing unless it's hackable and there's some serious execution problems with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you guys see? Speaking of the whole cheating thing, did you guys see the other day that Brian Cashman was still making a big issue about the Astros cheating scandal?
Yeah, I did.
I'm kind of over it by now.
I did. The only thing I'll say about it is he seemed very much assuming that if they would have beat the Astros, the Yankees would have won the World Series. You still had to play the Dodgers, and that was a really good Dodger team.
Super good team.
You know what I mean? So it's just get over it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, you're one of a handful of teams that the Astros cheated against. Welcome to the club, buddy.
Yep. Yeah, it's equal. They were equal opportunity when it came to cheating. They did it against everybody. So yeah, you're not the only one that suffered from it.
Right.
So let's get into the previews here. Do you want to start in the AL Central?
Yeah, sure.
Let's do that. Who
Okay.
wants to go first?
I'll go. Even though Lance Lynn has a torn meniscus, I believe, or at least some sort of knee issue, I'm going with the White Sox. I got to go with the White Sox to win the division. They're just that much better than everyone. Johnny Cueto joining their minor league team doesn't really do much for me, but he's at least an arm to fall back on at some point during the season when they're eventually going to need him. Mm-hmm. But I gotta go with the White Sox. That's a really good lineup. Luis Robert, and you got Eloy Jimenez, Jose Abreu. They're just really good.
Yeah.
I'll piggyback off that because I got the White Sox too. It's same thing. I think this is it's a World Series or bust year for Tony La Russa. I think they've got the squad, and they have some people who aren't fresh going into the season. But I think that's why the Johnny Cueto move made sense. That's a guy that can kind of hold you over while you get, your big guns healthy. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think that Giolito and Cease they're two of the best pitchers in the game. I really don't see this division as being uber competitive either. So that's the other reason I'm real comfortable picking the White Sox to win it.
Yeah. I don't totally disagree with your pick of the White Sox. However, I am going with the Detroit Tigers.
Ooh, it's an interesting pick. You really like that Austin Meadows trade, I see.
Yes, I do like that. I like what their young talent bringing in Javier Baez. I think Akil Baddoo, he had a good start to the season, kind of tailored off later. I get it, but I think he can keep that going. I like what they have with their pitching staff. The White Sox will be right there. I don't think it's going to be like Detroit runs away with the division or anything. I think it'll be a 2-horse race. Spoiler alert, I do have the White Sox still getting in as one of my 3 wildcard teams.
Okay, that's interesting.
Chirk, are you here? Are you alive?
He stepped away for a minute. We'll ask him who his division winner is when he gets back. But
that's who he says the Guardians.
Probably. But Tigers did get a little bit of an injury. Riley Green will not be starting with the opening day roster, but it appears Spencer Torkelson will be. He is supposed to be special.
Yeah,
the part, man. He really does look the part.
Yeah,
I got Miggy, and Jamer Candelario's all right. He's not a big power guy, but sometimes you just need a guy that comfortably hits 270, 280 in your lineup, and
yeah,
you know what I mean.
Always a nice thing to have.
So the Tigers are. I think they're going to do better. I think than most think they will. Who's your most surprising team in the division? Because I have my answer.
I'm going to go with the Royals.
So am I. Kansas City. Part of that is because Bobby Witt Jr., the number 1 prospect in all of baseball, has made the opening day roster.
Yes.
That dude is going to be a nightmare for the division for years to come.
Yeah, he's going to be a monster.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that they are going to open the year with him on the opening day roster. Mm-hmm. I just think it makes perfect sense. And yeah, I think he's going to cause problems for us for a really, really long time.
Yeah.
You look at that lineup, they got Salvador Perez, they had Whit Merrifield as well, Alberto Mondesi, Carlos Santana's still there doing his thing. Like they're gonna be pesky like they always are, and I think they're gonna take a nice step forward. Sure, Zach Greinke is like a gajillion years old, and his fastball tops out at like 88 miles an hour, but like they're still gonna be the Royals. They're gonna play Royal baseball, and they're gonna be annoying. They're gonna hit for contact, and they're gonna go first to third. They're gonna steal bases, and they're gonna stretch singles into doubles.
Yep.
Yeah, you just nailed it. That's how the Royals play, and they are a royal pain in the ass, and I think that's what they're going to continue to be. But yeah, I think that Bobby Witt Jr. is the real deal. In terms of surprising teams, I was going to actually go with Detroit. I'm kind of riding a little bit of what Josh was saying. I think that they'll surprise a lot of people this year, and they'll have a pretty good season.
All right. Chirk, who are you picking to win the AL Central?
Uh,
Guardians?
The Guardians, yes.
This is our MLB preview show, so we're making picks for the divisions.
Yeah. All right.
You're going Guardians?
I'm going Guardians. It's
Okay.
Cleveland.
Well,
All right.
they did sign Jose Ramirez to an extension today, so hopefully you can carry them pretty far. Where do
To
you
the
think?
World Series?
That's what Brian says.
Yep, World Series champs, baby.
Where do you have the Guardians finishing the division?
That's a tough one to figure out. It's the starters. I mean,
well, Chirk's got first place because he picked them to win the division. So
yeah.
besides Chirk.
Yeah. I'm going to go.
I think the Clase signing is a lot bigger than people might think. I think he's going to be one of the best, back end guys in the bullpen for a long time to come. And I think Bieber is obviously Cy Young worthy, and Tristan McKenzie is one of those guys that if he plays like he did for the last 12 or 13 games last year, he's a guy that can kind of take that next step and be a guy who might be in the Cy Young conversation in the future. So in terms of their pitching, it's like they've got some talented guys. They just don't have depth, That's the biggest problem.
They don't have offense.
Yeah, and then that's the other thing is we're not going to hit for shit. We don't have anybody that can hit. But in terms of the pitching staff, I think that there's some bright spots, but we just lack a lot of depth there.
Yeah, it's so hard to say because with Minnesota, they have the lineup, but the Twins don't have the pitching. Whereas with us, we have the pitching, but I don't think other than Jose Ramirez and Franmil Reyes, we don't really have the lineup. So it's like, which do you go with there?
I mean, Ahmed Rosario is a solid hitter, but they got a lot of corpses on that lineup. I mean, Bradley Zimmer, Oscar Mercado, Bobby Bradley. Like, what are we doing? We're wasting time with this.
I like Josh Naylor a lot. I mean, obviously that injury was disgusting, but I like Josh Naylor. I think that he could be a good player for us.
I think he could be a solid guy. Probably like a sixth hitter in the lineup.
Yeah, Bobby Bradley just doesn't do it for me. I haven't been impressed by him at all. Ahmed Rosario, he does some nice things from time to time.
I'm concerned that they're playing him in left field and not shortstop because he was significantly worse playing in the outfield last year compared to shortstop.
Yeah,
another short
problems up the middle with defensive. Yeah, it's bad.
This is a short spring training. He's going to have less reps in the outfield than he would have otherwise. That's the exact reason they didn't have Franmil Reyes play the outfield in 2020. Not enough reps because of short spring training, and they're into a position change with it's dumb. I really think because of their lack of offense, there's a real chance they finish 4th or 5th.
I agree. I expect them to definitely not second place. I don't see them making the wild card.
No.
4 or 5 I think is realistic.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, they're going to get DeGrom every game. Okay, you can have Shane Bieber go 8 innings, strike out 12, allow 1 run, but lose 1-0.
Yep, that's going to happen a lot. We just don't have unless we get much more from guys like Bradley and Rosario. We're going to lose a lot of games by 1 run, 2 runs where, we had a great starting pitching outing and we just couldn't close it out. We can't hit.
Unless the Guardians surprise us and they go out and sign a free agent who played for a team, James, you're wearing their jersey.
Are you talking Michael Conforto?
Yes, I am.
That'd be great if they signed Michael Conforto.
I'd love that, yeah.
I'm a big Conforto guy. But before we get to the AL East, I have another trivia question for you.
All right.
Of the 6 teams to never win the World Series, who has never appeared?
Oh, I'm trying to think.
Current, right?
Current, yeah. I'm not throwing out some franchise that doesn't exist anymore.
The Reds.
Okay.
Reds have won the World Series.
Yeah, the Reds have won the World
They got a
Series.
machine, man.
I told you I don't know baseball.
This is a tough one.
Yeah. I know a team that hasn't won the World Series, but they've been in the World Series twice.
So that's not the answer.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
The Blue Jays.
The Blue Jays won back-to-back World Series in the 90s.
Correct. Joe Carter walk-off home run.
What?
I'll give you one
I
more
don't know the answer. I have no clue.
Yeah, I have no idea.
All right, Josh, you're wearing their shirt. It's the
Mariners.
Seattle Mariners.
Oh man!
Wait, didn't they have Ichiro Suzuki?
They used to, yes, but they are the only team to never have appeared in the World Series. The Seattle Mariners.
That's right. They had that amazing season in 2001, but they lost to the Yankees.
Yep. And speaking of the Yankees, that's where we're going to next. The AL East. Who do you got winning the division?
I got Boston.
Boston. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty good pick. They signed Trevor Story. They still got Rafi Devers and Chris Sale whenever he comes back.
That's the only question mark about it, but
yeah,
I really like what the Red Sox are doing. I love Alex Cora as their manager. JD Martinez can still rake.
Mm-hmm.
So, and like you said, Rafael Devers, if he's not the best third baseman in the league, he's top 3, but easy.
Well, the best third baseman in all of baseball just signed an extension this morning, so he can take a back seat to Jose. But Boston is a really good pick. Brian?
I got the Blue Jays.
Blue Jays.
Yeah, I think Vlad Jr. and Bo Bichetti are as good of hitters as there are in the league. I just think that they're going to score a bunch of runs, just so many runs. I think they have enough talent on their starting pitching. My big concern with them is their outfield defense. They've got no defense in the outfield. Yeah. But I don't think that that's something that's a glaring enough that's the only real weakness I see with this team is like their defense. And I think that their offense is good enough that it can carry them beyond that. So, yeah, I've got the Blue Jays winning the East.
Blue Jays is a solid pick. They got George Springer. They picked up Matt Chapman from the A's as the A's are doing their fire sale. I mean, that's a really good team. Can't forget about Kevin Biggio or Lourdes Gurriel Jr. either.
Yeah.
Really good complimentary guys for that
team.
I
like the Blue Jays a lot this year. I think that they're going to do it.
Right. Chirk. AL East, Tampa Bay, Boston.
I'm going with Canada in Brian.
You're going with Toronto.
Nice.
I like it.
Oh, Canada.
Oh, Canada.
Yeah, I've got more about the Blue Jays, but I didn't want to get ahead of myself. There's some more about them later that I've got.
So my pick for the AL East, it's the big bad Yankees. I hate to do it, but at some point, it's got to happen. You know what I mean? At some point, it does. That lineup with Stanton, Judge, Joey Gallo, DJ LeMahieu,
Aaron Hicks, Donaldson, Giancarlo Stanton. Yeah,
it's an insane lineup. They moved on from Gary Sanchez, much needed to move on that they needed to make.
You weren't a big Sanchez fan?
He's such an awful catcher defensively.
He really is.
It doesn't really work. I mean, my concerns with them are the same concerns that I think everyone has with them every year. They have a lot of injury-prone guys. So
that's why I didn't choose them.
Gallo, Donaldson. But from Judge and Stanton, they've been healthier the past couple of years than they have been before that. So I'm looking at that. I don't know. I feel this is a time that the Yankees make that move to win the division again.
Okay. I'm guessing we all have a certain team that plays down in St. Petersburg in the wild card, but I find it interesting that none of us chose the Tampa Bay Rays, despite what they've done to win the division.
Tampa's good.
Picked yet? Josh, who'd you pick?
I said Boston.
Oh, that's right, Boston.
Yeah, none of us picked Tampa. They did trade Austin Meadows to Detroit. They did sign Corey Kluber. I can't wait for him to win the Cy Young this year.
Are we going to be giving our World Cup, our wild card picks too?
Yeah, we'll do that at the end.
Okay, so I'm not going to get. Okay.
Yeah.
I got the. Yeah.
Okay.
So Tampa's a good team. I think they're solid. I don't know. The way that they operate, the way that they have constant turnover with their roster, churning guys in and out, you could see a drop off happening. Mm-hmm. Not too drastic that they missed the playoffs entirely, but a drop off of some sort.
Yeah, okay. I've got them in wild card 1. I got them as my 1 seed in the wild card. I think Wander Franco is as good a hitter as there is in Major League Baseball. He's the real deal. They've got some injured guys. They're starters with Glasnow and Shane Baz and Shane McClanahan. But if they can all get healthy, and stay healthy, I think towards the end of the year, when you get Glass now like really back and ramped up, like they can make some noise going into the postseason. So I like them to be the number one wild card team.
Okay.
Pretty
So-
good.
Are we going straight to the AL West, or do you got another trivia question?
I'll have another trivia question for a second. Someone say something nice about Baltimore. They moved their outfield fences back.
Adley Rutschman's one of my favorite prospects.
Oh, I love Adley Rutschman. Ryan Mountcastle.
Yeah. I love Adley Rutschman. Buy all the stock you can in that young man. I think he's going to be great. So
Trey
that's my
Mancini, what a great story, too.
Trey Mancini.
Great crab.
Cedric Mullins. Cedric Mullins is a pretty good outfielder. Did you say crab? Sure.
Yes, to say one good thing about Baltimore.
I meant like the Orioles, not the city. I like that. I like that because that's about as relevant as the Orioles are going to be this year.
The Orioles are going to be an improved team, but yeah, they won't be part of it.
I don't know what the over-under on wins for them this year is. I think it's like 62.5. Take the under.
Be right back. I actually have those odds.
Okay. While he's going over there for a second, I'll read the next trivia question. First player to homer twice in an inning 2 times. Who is it?
I'm going with the guy on the back of this jersey, Griffey.
It is not Ken Griffey Jr.
Huh.
Did you hear the question, Brian?
A homer in the same inning twice?
2 times.
2 times.
Cal Ripken.
Who's the first to do it twice?
Cal Ripken?
It is not Cal Ripken. He wasn't that much of a home run hitter, but I do like that you busted out a Baltimore Oriole.
Yeah. Same inning twice. Is it McGuire?
It is not Mark McGuire.
Hmm.
I'm surprised that you guys went with Bonds, but it's not Barry Bonds either. Although where he hit a ton of baseballs is named after him. It's Willie McCovey.
Oh,
Yeah,
It's
so
a
Willie
recent
McCovey.
race, and I like
Did
how
he
you
take
tried that video.
steroids?
Willie McCovey did not. Barry Bonds, allegedly.
Allegedly.
But yeah, I was looking up a different trivia question. I came across that. I'm like, that one's fun.
That is a good one.
all right. Now
So-
we move to the American League West. I think, are we all going Houston on this one?
I'm going Houston. I
I'm
mean,
going Houston.
I'm going Houston.
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 I don't know why.
So let's take second place. I have
Oh,
Seattle.
I have
Yeah.
the Mariners.
I like that they brought in Jesse Winker. He's going to be a solid outfield addition for them. They still got Mitch Haniger, who seems to get hurt all the time. And, they got Robbie Ray from Toronto. Like, I think they're a fun team with an upward trajectory. Julio Rodriguez made their opening day roster. Jared Kelenic is going to be in the mix at some point, or it's, to some capacity. I think they're going to be an exciting, fun team.
I was going to mention them as second place too, for the same reason. I love Julio Rodriguez. I love that they are starting him. I believe in center field.
Yeah.
But yeah, his slash line in the minor leagues, 331, 412, 543, and a 1.309 OPS in spring training this spring. So the dude can rake. They're a really fun team. I think second place, they can definitely do that.
Yeah. I know the Mariners got eliminated from playoff contention at the end of last season, but I think that run was no joke to get them in position to be where they were. I know we're going to do our wild card pick later. I have them as one of my 3 wild card teams.
Cool.
I think Seattle's going to be a very good team. Third or fourth place, Angels or Rangers? Because we all know Oakland's going to finish dead last. But third and fourth, Angels or Rangers? Which one do you have for which?
I have the Angels third just because of Trout and Ohtani.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Angels easy over that. Yeah.
The additions of Corey Seager and Marcus Semien not doing anything for you down in Texas?
Not quite.
Not enough. They're predicted to be fourth in the division, and I think that's about right.
Yeah.
I'm with you guys on that. You look at the team, you look at comparing them to the Angels. I just think the Angels are better.
Yeah.
I think the Angels and the Mariners are going to be very, very close this year. I think those two could flip flop. I think, But the rest of the division, no. I think it's the Rangers and Oakland and dead last in that division.
Yeah,
actually, I disagree with you slightly, Brian. I think the Mariners are going to keep that gap between them and the Angels a little bigger than what you're predicting.
Gotcha.
I mean, that could happen. I mean, I think where the Angels ultimately fall in the standings comes down to the health of Mike Trout and how close to repeating his MVP season from last year Ohtani can do.
Yeah.
If there's a drop-off either in pitching or hitting, that's going to have just a massive impact on where the Angels land in the standings.
Yeah. And on that note, you know that in the offseason, guys were watching film and making adjustments. So it'll be interesting to see if Ohtani can replicate that season because you know the pitchers are going to make adjustments and pitch him differently. And you know that hitters are going to make adjustments when they face him on the mound.
I've got an interesting Shohei Ohtani prediction, but I will get to that when we get to predictions.
Ooh, okay.
All right.
We're going to go to the NL East now. And with that, we have another trivia question.
Hey, let's go.
Which relief pitcher led all of baseball in appearances last season?
Ugh.
Yeah, I told you we had a variety of questions.
I'm not as up to date on my baseball stats.
Grady Sizemore.
Not even active, not even a pitcher, but Trent goes with Grady Sizemore.
He wasn't even a pitcher, I know.
Is it James Karinchak?
Is not James Karinchak.
Roger Clemens?
He's retired.
I'm going to go with Chad.
Wade Johnson.
Okay. Brian, you were the closest. You had the right team, just the wrong pitcher. It was Iron Man Brian Shaw.
That's another big one. Him coming back, huh?
I like Brian Shaw more than most, but
yeah,
there's going to come a time where it just implodes, and as the older he gets, the closer we get to that. Brian Shaw led all of baseball in appearances last year for relief pitchers, appearing in half the games, 81 appearances.
That's amazing.
That's really
insane.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
He earns his pay. I'll say that.
All right, let's move on to the NL East. Who do you got winning the National League East?
You.
Oh, Mets.
Yes.
Okay.
I've got the Braves.
Don't know baseball and divisions.
Okay, so Braves, Phillies, Mets, Marlins, or Nationals?
Phillies.
Phillies. Okay, that's an interesting one.
Interesting pick.
I'm going with the Mets. LFGM. Let's go. The Mets are they're really good. I mean, sure, DeGrom's hurt and he has an unknown timeline, and that kind of sucks.
Isn't Scherzer also?
Scherzer, he has a hamstring tweak, but he's expected to still stay in the rotation, I believe, at this time. If he does miss a spot, it'll probably just be one go through the rotation.
Mm-hmm.
Chris Bassett's still a really good pitcher. Once you get past those guys, it's like Taijuan Walker, Tyler McGill, and a whole bunch of guys you really don't want to see pitch as much as they probably will early on in the year. But you look at the offense, they have like one of the best power hitters in baseball playing first base in Pete Alonso.
Oh, yeah.
Francisco Lindor is due for a bounce back here.
So
they added Starling Marte, Mark Canha, Eduardo Escobar. Those are solid guys. To already go with solid guys, Jeff McNeil and J.D. Davis and Dom Smith.
Yeah.
You know,
I think Jeff McNeil has a big bounce back year too. Him and Lindor, I think both.
Yeah. The main reason, I'll tell you what, my X factor for the Mets, Starling Marte.
Okay.
I'll tell you why. Because I think him and Lindor, they can make a good tandem if they end up on base at the same time, creating problems for the pitcher. Because either one of them could steal a base, or you could potentially see a double steal. So I think that could create some problems.
Yeah. Ultimately, I chose the Braves. I think with the addition of Matt Olson and potentially a full healthy season of Ronald Acuna Jr., I think that's the difference. But Braves are thin margin. I do have the Mets to make the wild card, but yeah, I got the Braves to win division.
Braves are a really good team. Obviously, they won the World Series last year. Yeah. But they're a really good team. I don't know. I look at the Braves and like, was that the strongest team in the postseason last year? Maybe, maybe not. They won 88 games last year.
Yeah.
They had the fewest games won of a division winner last year. So we all know teams like the Mets underachieved, the Phillies underachieved. Chirk's pick.
Yeah.
And speaking of the Phillies, they spent a shit ton of money getting Kyle Schwarber and Nick Castellanos. Like, they're not fucking around. The Phillies are going for it.
Yeah, but
hell of a lineup themselves.
But what the heck are they going to do in the outfield? Because none of them can play defense.
No, you're going to have Bryce Harper in right field. They're going to rotate Castellanos and Schwarber in left, and the other one's going to play DH. And I have no idea who their center fielder is.
It's embarrassing that Kyle Schwarber is playing the outfield in Major League Baseball.
Both Castellanos and Kyle Schwarber are butchers in the outfield. Okay, they're both terrible. They're both terrible defensively. Their center fielder is Matt Vierling. I've never heard of him. But it's going to be an interesting team. Interesting team. You also have Gene Segura, Rhys Hoskins, JT Realmuto, but they have like probably the most explosive bullpen in all of baseball in regards to blown saves. When you look at Corey Knebel, Brad Hand, Juris Familia, Jose Alvarado, blown save city right there. Yeah. My concern with the Phillies, I do think they'll be better, but they're going to have to fucking hit. And they're going to have to win games scoring 8, 9, 10 runs most nights.
That's why I love the Braves this year and think they'll have a much better year because their bullpen is so strong. And with that bullpen and the addition of Olsen and a full season from Acuna, if you could stay healthy, I think that gives them the edge there over the Phillies. So,
yeah. You look at they just got Kenley Jansen to be their closer. Was really good in LA, but he started to kind of dip performance wise. But they're pitching pretty damn good. Max Fried, Charlie Morton, Ian Anderson, Kyle Wright.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
pretty good.
Colin McHugh in the bullpen. I like McHugh in the bullpen.
Yeah,
he's really good. Colin McHugh, AJ Minter, Darren O'Day throws like 78 miles an hour, but he's still effective.
Yeah,
with that
typical Braves stuff, Braves have always been known for those guys that could just paint corners but don't throw it above 90 miles an hour.
Does Darren O'Day still have that weird sidearm delivery?
Yeah, he's still rocking the sidearm delivery.
Okay.
Let's talk about the Nats and Marlins real quick. Marlins, they add Jorge Soler. They're a team that seems like they're going to be probably still in the low 70s, I think, for wins.
I've got them in fourth place in the division.
That's what I do too. Oh, did you get the over/under for wins for the Orioles, by the way?
No, I have the odds, but not the over/unders.
Okay.
Yeah. You said for the Orioles?
Yeah.
Plus 15,000. So you can put together what you think the win-loss record will be off of that. They have the farthest odds to anybody in the league.
Yeah, so then we got the Nationals. We all think they're going to finish in fifth?
Yes.
Which is kind of a shame because they have, Juan Soto, he's the best player on a last place team.
Yep.
And they signed Nelson Cruz for a little bit of lineup protection. So
the only reason I don't have Soto winning MVP is just because his team stinks so bad. I just think that ultimately will be held against him. Yeah. It won't be held against him, but the margin between the best guys in the league is so thin. Mm-hmm. That'll just be enough for them to put somebody else in front.
They'll take him for that. Yeah.
That's why I don't have him winning the MVP, but he's going to win multiple MVP awards in the National League, I think.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
So now that the East is done, trivia time. Which current Major League Baseball manager made an appearance on Seinfeld while being the real-life Yankees manager?
Terry Francona?
It is not Terry Francona.
Terry Francona never managed the Yankees.
It wasn't Joe Torre.
It was not Joe Torre.
It's not Aaron Boone.
Aaron Boone was a player at that time.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Was it Scott Player?
It was not Scott Player. Legendary mustache Scott Player.
Was it?
No, I don't know. I'm on this one. I would have guessed Torre. Torre was my guess.
I'm going to go with, you said it's a current manager, right?
Current Major League Baseball manager.
I'm going to go with the Dodgers manager, Don Mattingly. Or no, wait.
He's not a current manager. He's the manager of the Marlins.
The Buck Showalter?
It's Buck Showalter, the manager of the Mets.
Yes.
He was on a Seinfeld.
Yeah, he's been around long enough. He's won Manager of the Year title in 3 different decades. So
he's a really good manager.
When I was thinking older guy, and as soon as you said he's currently still a manager, I was like, that's it.
Yep.
I don't know why I know Dave Roberts is the damn manager of the Dodgers. Why did I say Don Mattingly?
So that gives me 2 points.
All right, let's move to the NL Central. Colossal, just clusterfuck of teams here.
Sure is.
Outside of the Pirates, who have no chance of winning, and the Reds, who tore everything down, you got 3 teams that can win the division: the Brewers, the Cardinals, or the Cubs.
Yep.
Who do you got winning?
I got the Brewers.
I'm a diehard Chicago Cubs fan. Have been since I was little, but I'm going to take my fandom out of it. I'm taking Milwaukee.
Yeah, I just love that rotation, with Corbin Burns, Brandon Woodruff, Freddie Peralta. Like, they're just loaded.
You got Josh Hader in the bullpen.
Yeah, and if they can get more from their hitters, get more from Hura and Yelich than they did last year, I just think that they're ultimately the best of a not very great bunch.
Yeah. I mean, with the Cubs, I think they need a little more time.
Yeah, that's where I'm at with the Cubs. I'm not ready.
Yeah.
They do. They need time. Sia Suzuki, great signing for them.
Yep.
Definite Rookie of the Year candidate. But the Cubs need time. They really do. I mean, Patrick Wisdom, great story. Frank Schwindel was pretty solid for them last year. Nick Madrigal, Nico Horner, solid guys in the middle of the infield. Neither guy hits for a whole bunch of power, but they more average guys. Then you look at Ian Happ; he's still in the mix.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then, they still got Wilson Contreras. He's a really good catcher. So, I think the Cubs probably finished in 3rd, but I don't think it's going to be like super distant. Like they're in 3rd place by 15 games.
Yeah. They're in. They're plus 1,100 to win the division, but the Reds are right behind them at plus 1,600. So they edge out the Reds, and then the Pirates are all the way in last at plus 5,000.
Yeah.
What
I'm
are
going to
the odds for the Cardinals?
That's my pick.
Plus 230.
You're going with St. Louis?
I'm going with St. Louis.
Yeah, they're plus 230. They're up there.
Chirk, who's your pick for the NL Central?
I'll say Cardinals.
Cardinals. Okay. I like the Cardinals. Nolan Arenado is that dude. He's a dude. Okay. They still got Yadi Molina. They brought back Albert Pujols. I think him in a DH role, probably mostly part-time, playing, I don't know, like 60, 70% of the time would be optimal.
Perfect for him.
Yeah.
At this stage in his career. But, Harrison Bader, still really good. Then you look at, Dylan Carlson, Tyler O'Neill's like the best left fielder in all of baseball. Paul DeYoung had a down year. Tommy Edmonds, okay. Paul Goldschmidt, pretty solid. Where I look is their bullpen that kind of scares me. And their rotation's okay. Jack Flaherty's hurt again. But Adam Wainwright's 1,000 years old. Miles Mikolas, Steven Matz, Dakota Hudson, Drew Verhagen, Jake Woodford round out their rotation. But they picked up former Cleveland pitcher Nick Whitgren to add to their bullpen. They got Alex Reyes, who's hurt again. Giovanni Gallegos is a solid guy, but they got the ultimate wild card in the bullpen. That's Jordan Hicks, who throws that 104-mile-an-hour sinker.
Oh God, yeah.
That's why I didn't. That's why I ultimately didn't choose St. Louis. Just too many question marks when it comes to their pitching staff as a whole. Mm-hmm. I agree with you about their offense, but I feel better about Milwaukee's pitching staff than I do St. Louis's.
I agree with you there.
Yeah, I'm with you there. For me, Milwaukee's offense, there were so many guys that underperformed last year, and you kind of wonder, is this where their career is headed, or can they bounce back? Like Christian Yelich was bad last year.
Yeah.
So it's just, I gotta see a bounce back out of them. I just think the Cardinals are that team that consistently just is really good, not great, and I think really good wins that division.
Yeah. Actually, I went to one of the 2 games between the Cardinals and the Indians last year. That was like for me, like the Cardinals were one of those teams that's like when they come to town, I want to go see them play. Like I don't know if you guys are like that, where it's like, oh, I really want to go to this game because I want to see this specific team play.
It's for me. It's a certain player on a certain team comes to town.
Yeah, I'm more player focused when it's other teams.
Like when the Phillies came to town in 2019, I came specifically to watch Bryce Harper.
Yep.
You know what I mean? You know, when I was still lived in Michigan, I went to an Angels-Tigers game because of Mike Trout.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, same here. I try to get tickets to see the stars that, we don't have here in town.
For the most part, I'm the same way. I just also happen to like to look at the teams also.
I think the St. Louis Cardinals are like, that's Americana right there. You know what I mean? Like it is baseball. They embody everything about the sport and what's good about baseball. So like they're always one of those teams that's like right in the mix. So that's a good pick. I like it. I do ultimately think that they won't, but yeah, I think they're an interesting team and they can make some noise.
I would love to go to St. Louis and see a Cardinals game.
St. Louis is just a big time baseball city. That's what it is.
Yeah.
So now that the NL Central's over, next trivia question. Who was the only pitcher to start 4 times on opening day and was on a team that won the World Series? Now, I'll give you a little help here. It wasn't all with the same team.
Can you repeat the question one more time?
Who was the only pitcher to start 4 times on opening day and win the World Series that year? And it did not happen on the same team.
Oh, so they got traded mid-season then, probably.
They got traded. No, they started opening day for that team and finished on that team and won the World Series with that team. But it was with multiple teams. Like he didn't play his entire career with one team.
Okay.
This is a tough one. I borrowed this one from an episode of Starkville podcast. Someone asked them that. I'm like, that's a damn good question. I'm taking it.
I think I'm just not understanding the question right, and it's not because of the way it's written or anything. I'm just having a moment. I'm having a moment. I don't know.
So I'll tell you who it is. It's Jack Morris.
Okay.
He started 4 times on opening day, and he started, I think, 13 in a row or something like that. But 4 times his team won the World Series. 1984 with the Tigers, 91 with the Twins, and 92 and 93 with the
I get it now. So the team we opened with won the World Series 4 different times with 4 different teams. That's sweet. That's a good question.
Oh.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
That's a really good trivia question. Now that I know the answer, the question makes sense.
Yeah, the question makes sense. I was having trouble understanding what you meant.
Yeah. So
good question. Nobody got that one.
All right, National League
West.
Anybody got anything interesting?
We picking the Dodgers here?
Yeah, what are we doing here? It's the Dodgers.
Yeah,
right?
It's the Dodgers.
Dodgers. Like, okay, so let's discuss second place. Who do you think is going to finish in second place?
I'll tell you exactly who I think is finishing second place. Giants.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm agreeing with you. I don't think the Giants' run is over.
I love Logan Webb and Carlos Rodon. They've got a great bullpen. Mm-hmm. They've got a bottom 5 defense, but I think that their pitching's good enough and lineup's good enough to compete. So yeah, I like them to finish in second behind the Dodgers.
Yeah, Brandon Crawford, I think, is going to continue to have a solid season.
My concern with the Giants is that Buster Posey's gone now.
I know. I hate that.
They traded for Chris Bryant last year in the middle of the season, and he's gone now. He's now in Colorado. That team that already had a whole bunch of old guys on it got another year older.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so I don't have them finishing in second. I have them in third. I got the Padres finishing in second.
Interesting. Nice.
I really think the Padres they're really that good. Even with Fernando Tatis in his motorcycle accidents, plural, multiple.
Yeah.
I just really like what the Padres got going on.
If he was healthy, I'd have them in number 2 for sure. But
yeah,
you know what you're going to get with them.
And the Padres have a ton of arms, okay? They just traded for Sean Manaea from the A's, okay? But they got Yu Darvish, Blake Snell,
I forgot they got Manaea.
Yeah, Mike Clevenger, Chris Paddock. If they get anything out of Mackenzie Gore, they have so many starting pitchers on that team, and that's good because a lot of those guys get hurt all the time.
Yeah.
But you look at their position players. Eric Hosmer's okay. They traded for Luke Voigt. They acquired Matt Beattie from the Dodgers. He was a solid pickup. They still got Jake Cronenworth, Manny Machado, Tatis eventually. Jerkson Profar is okay. Will Myers is okay. Trent Grisham, I think, is better than what he's shown. But I just look at this team and I think this is a solid team to finish in second. Last year was a disappointment. And I think they rebound big time. I
get that. They just, for me, maybe I'm basing this too much of. I'm trying to speak English here. Maybe I'm basing this too much off of what they've done recently, but when they had expectations, I haven't quite seen them reach those expectations. So, and they have somewhat high expectations again. So, based off of that, I can't see them doing.
That's fair. That's fair. I think the Giants are due for regression. I think the San Diego Padres are going to have a correction from last year. But let's look at fourth place. It's the Rockies, right? Fourth place is the Rockies. They got Chris Bryant. They acquired Randall Grichuk from the Blue Jays. Fourth place is the Rockies.
Yeah.
And dead last is Arizona because it's the Diamondbacks.
Yeah. The Diamondbacks won't even be a factor.
I mean, they won 52 games last year. That's horrible.
There's a chance the Rockies have a worse record than them because I really think they're that bad too. But yeah,
I mean, they're not good.
Yeah, the Diamondbacks are terrible. I've got if I had to put money on it, I got them in dead last for sure.
Yeah. So now that we finished that, we're gonna do wildcard picks in a second. But again, trivia question time. Which former Cleveland third baseman homered on back-to-back opening days? And this happened pretty recently, in the past 11 years. He did it while in Cleveland.
Casey Blake.
It is not Casey Blake. He was already off the team then. He was on the Dodgers.
Oh.
So it's not Fryman. Shit, third base.
I had to choose 11 years, not 10 for a reason.
Is it Andy Marte?
It's not Andy Marte. Rest in peace, Andy Marte. Chirk, you have a guess?
A-Rod?
A-Rod never played for Cleveland.
For us. That's an interesting pick.
All right, then Grady Sizemore.
Baseman, but
Jim Thome?
Jim Thome was the third baseman at the time, but not in 2011.
Right.
2011?
2011 and 2012 were the years. I'll give you a little bit more help there.
It wasn't Victor Martinez. He played catcher and sometimes first base.
I can't remember who else was over there at that time.
Gargo was already off the team.
This is one of the lean years for the Indians.
Ugh.
This is pre-Tito.
Okay.
I don't remember much about that team at all.
I'll give you another second here.
Yeah, I'm drawing. The only third baseman I can remember from the mid-2000s is Casey Blake.
Yeah. Okay. So obviously not him. Jack Hanahan.
Oh
yeah.
Good old Jack Hanahan.
So I remember he homered on opening day in 2011. I'm like, oh, that's awesome. The next year he did it again. I'm like, hey, that's 2 years in a row. Yeah.
Nice.
So,
yeah.
2011, 2012.
Right, I forgot about him.
Day.
Yeah.
I mean, he was in that list of just like, oh yeah, that guy played for Cleveland. Like
yeah,
him and like Mark DeRosa and
I thought Anthony Marte was a good guess.
It's around the right time. So yeah, Jack Hanahan.
Cool.
For some reason, I thought we had still had Casey Blake on the roster at that time.
So I got 2 points. Who else has a point? Do you have a point, Josh?
No.
It's just Brian in the lead by himself.
I'm trying.
No,
I've only got 2, so you can catch me.
All right. Wild card picks in the American League.
All right.
You want to go 1, 2, 3 in order.
Just list your 3.
Okay.
All right. I've got the White Sox, I've got the Mariners, and I've got the Blue Jays.
Okay.
You
Ryan?
guys are all probably going to hate this, but I've got 4 teams making the playoffs from the AL East.
I do too.
I've got Tampa Bay Rays, wild card 1, Yankees, wild card 2, Red Sox, wild card 3.
I got Tampa, Boston, and Toronto all as wild cards.
All right.
Chirk?
I guess I'll put in Tampa, the Rays, and the Blue Jays.
Cool.
Nice.
All right.
Let's go to the NL. Wild cards in the NL.
This one's trickier.
Yeah.
This one is here.
I got the Padres as wild card 1. I have Braves as wild card 2. And then I'm going to go second team from the NL East. I'm going to go with the Phillies.
Okay.
Nice. I have wild card 1, rolling with Frank the Tank and the New York Mets.
Yes.
Wild card 2, I've got the Giants, and wild card 3, I've got the Phillies. So Mets, Giants, Phillies.
My 3 wild card picks are the Braves, the Phillies, and the Padres.
Nice.
All right.
Sure.
I'll go with your list, James.
You go with my list. Okay.
That's smart. Anytime I don't know, I go with James too. It's a reliable way to go.
All right. Here we go. This one might be a little bit easier. Might not be. Depends on what your forte is in all-time statistical leaders. Or should I say second place? We all know Pete Rose is the all-time hit king. Who's second?
Oh. Dang, that's a tough question.
Yeah.
Ted Williams. Ted
No,
Williams?
it is not Ted Williams.
Damn it.
Um,
I'll let you guys guess before I guess again.
what about Johnny Bench?
It is not Johnny Bench. I have no idea where Johnny Bench even comes in on the list.
Huh.
Was he at
Johnny
one
Bench
time
is
with Padre?
263rd all time.
Oh,
Okay.
was second place at one time a Padre?
No. I'll give you a little bit of a hint. The Padres weren't a team when this guy was alive.
Okay.
Ted Williams is 77.
Oh, he was already 77 at this time.
But then Ted Williams was 77.
77 all time. Okay, I was like, oh, okay. Okay. Is it Bonds?
It is not Bonds.
A-Rod?
I'll give you another guess. No. I said this guy was not alive before this guy died before this team was established.
Oh, duh. Yeah, I'm thinking the wrong era now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. With the only other player with more than 4,000 hits, with 4,189, dying in 1961, 8 years before the founding of the Padres, it is Ty Cobb.
Ty Cobb. He used to piss on his hands. That was before really good glove technology. Yeah, he'd piss on his hands to toughen him up.
Wasn't his nickname Mr. Tiger?
That was Al Kaline.
Oh.
Yeah. Ty Cobb, though, great ball player, man. Throwback player. He's old school.
I've seen highlights.
Ty Cobb's nickname was the Georgia Peach.
Ah.
Yeah.
I still remember. I remember watching highlights of him. I still do sometimes with that old style English D on his jersey.
Where was Mantle on that list?
Mantle?
Yeah.
I'll look in a second, but let's
move on. We'll move on.
I clicked off. I'll let me find him. 123rd.
Okay.
2,400 hits. All right. So let's get into it. Who do we have winning the World Series?
Well, shouldn't we say who we have in the World Series first?
Yeah, World Series matchup. Then winner.
Cleveland.
Okay.
Chirk has Cleveland winning over who?
Everyone.
Well,
Okay.
that's one National League team. Do you know one National League team?
The Yankees?
That's an American League team. Try again.
All right, the Giants.
That's
There
an
you go.
National League team.
There we go. Okay,
Yeah.
Guardians over Giants. Okay.
Love
So,
it.
like East
Giants.
Coast to West Coast a little bit.
What's that?
Is the division divided like East Coast to West Coast?
Kind of.
It's East, West, and Central for divisions.
Yeah. All right, Josh, who do you got?
I'm going with. Jeez, this year's so difficult. I'm actually gonna say Boston over. I think we get a rematch of 2018. Boston over the Dodgers. Again.
Okay.
We
Brian.
have one similar. I've got the Dodgers coming out of the NL. I think this is one of the better teams of all time, honestly. Like, I think that the Dodgers are going to come through the NL. And I've got Toronto, the Blue Jays, losing to the Dodgers in the World Series.
All right. Now I'm going to go Dodgers over the White Sox.
Oh, I like that.
Ooh.
White Sox won 93 games last year. They're on pace to win the Central this year. Yeah, that's a good pick.
Yeah, I
Dodgers
like
over
that.
White Sox is my pick. Okay, who do you think's going to win the MVP in the American League?
I'll go first if you guys aren't ready. I've got Vlad Jr. winning AL MVP.
Ooh, okay, I like it.
All right.
Shane Bieber.
Shane Bieber. Okay, so apparently he's also winning the Cy Young in your book.
Hey, Justin Verlander did that with Detroit, I believe.
Yeah, he did.
AL MVP. I'm going with Baez from the Tigers.
Ooh,
Okay.
that's a very. I wonder what the odds are on that, but
That's a sexy pick. That's what we
yeah.
call that. You'll get great value on that.
that is a great value pick.
Yeah, I think Vlad Jr.
Okay, Vlad Jr. I think I am going to go with Luis Robert.
Okay. Tell us why.
I think he's got a nice wide variety of abilities. He can hit for power. He's got speed in his game. He's a good defender. He's going to be on a team that wins the division. If he can stay healthy, he can produce. I think he can be a very just overlooked potential MVP candidate.
Yeah.
All right.
That's why I chose Vlad Jr. for MVP. Is I think that the Blue Jays lead the American League in wins, and I think that helps his cause. So I think that he gets it this year.
All right. I'm going with Baez because part of it is because, I picked Detroit to win the division. But also I think he's just going to rake in Comerica. That feels like a very hitter-friendly ballpark for him, especially.
He'll hit a lot of doubles and triples.
Yeah.
Home runs will
You
do.
guys love that park. If you've got speed, Comerica's the place to play.
Yeah. And I just think he's going to be – I know, like, being, like, the energy guy isn't necessarily taken into account for MVP.
It's not.
It's something.
It's something. My only concern with Baez is strikeout rate has gone incredibly high. His batting average is also cratered. He's not a big OBP guy, so he's going to have the best season of his entire career to even have a chance. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the way I look at it. Cy Young picks. Chirk already has his because he picked Shane Bieber to win the AL MVP.
Right.
Yeah. So let's pick AL Cy Young, then we'll do NL MVP, NL Cy Young.
Okay. I have my AL Cy Young Award winner being Shohei Ohtani.
Ooh.
That's why I have Vlad Jr. winning MVP, and I have Ohtani doing better as a pitcher this year than he does at the plate, and he wins the Cy Young.
All right.
So Ohtani still has a freaky good year, but they give it to Vlad because he's got the hitting edge, and Ohtani gets the Cy Young.
All right. For Cy Young, I'm once again staying AL Central. I just think that division's going to be very pitcher heavy. Giolito.
Okay, Lucas Giolito. That's a good pick.
Yup.
That's a good pick.
Bieber.
Yep.
Chirk's got Bieber. I'm going to go with Garrett Cole. And
Okay,
part of it,
finally puts it together.
I think he finally puts it together. I look at Garrett Cole, and plus I picked the Yankees to win the AL East.
Yeah.
They had a good run. But I think Garrett Cole finally puts it together. I think he has the year we've all been waiting for him to have in the Bronx. He's got the stuff. He's got the ability.
He does, man. He's one of those guys that has it, and you're just waiting until it happens.
Yeah. No, I think Garrett Cole wins the Cy Young.
Good pick.
I will say that for my runner-up for American League MVP, I've got Devers.
Okay.
Like that.
Devers is a pretty good pick.
Real solid pick, yeah.
All right, let's go NL MVP.
NL MVP.
I'll go first since I'm ready. I've got Freddie Freeman.
Ooh, Freddie Freeman in a new city in Dodger blue.
I think this is a match made in heaven for Freddie Freeman and the Dodgers, and I think he has a really good year. He's done it before, and I think that he'll do it again in LA in a big way. I think they easily lead the majors in wins, and that's another reason why I give him a little bit of an edge here because he's on the best team.
All right, NL MVP. I'm going to stay with the Dodgers, but I'm going Bellinger.
Ooh, he's going to have a hell of a bounce back. But you know what? He's really good. He's really good. He can do it.
He is. He can do it, yeah.
I think, like you said, he is due for a bounce back, and I think he gets a bounce back here in a big-time way.
I like that.
Chirk, NL MVP.
Vlad Jr.
He's American League.
All right. Shohei.
American League.
The American League. Keep trying. You'll name him National League player eventually.
Mike Trout.
American
League.
How about Ronald Acuna Jr.? How about that?
Yes, whoever that is.
Acuna. Good pick.
Ronald Acuna Jr. is a good pick.
Great pick.
There we go. There we go. I'm going with
Matt Olson has a chance.
Matt Olson does have a chance.
He does.
That would suck after the thinking that he might end up playing in Cleveland for that to happen. That would suck.
That would suck.
Yeah.
I'm going with Pete Alonso as the NL MVP.
Oh, he's
incredible power hitter. He's in a lineup now. They can have him play DH, to if they're worried about defense and they just want him to focus on hitting. Pete Alonso crushes home runs.
Absolutely.
There's a reason he's won 2 straight home run derbies.
I think he benefits from this National League DH more than anybody. I think that's a perfect thing for him to fall into for the later years into his career. Like for him to just be able to focus on hitting, like he's going to be dangerous.
Yeah, so
100%.
I'm going the polar bear for the NL MVP.
Love it.
All right, Cy Young.
Well, if we were doing Cy Young a week ago, I would have picked Jacob deGrom, but can't do that now. So I am going to go with Max Scherzer. Still going to pick on that.
I'm actually going to go with a Philadelphia Philly, Aaron Nola.
Any concern about their defense screwing them over a little bit?
Yes, I am, but I think Nola's a good enough pitcher that he can overcome it.
Fair.
I think Ranger Suarez is a sneaky guy who can come up and have a good year for them.
Yeah. Ranger Suarez is pretty good. Who's your Cy Young pick?
I have Walker Buehler.
Walker Buehler is a solid pick.
I honestly think this year for the Dodgers, I'm crazy about this Dodgers team. Not a fan. I'm not as a fan, but like this lineup and I love it. I really do. And I think that they're going to benefit from this being like an all-time great Dodger year. So I think he gets the Cy Young.
Yeah. That's part of the reason why I'm not picking the Dodgers to win the World Series, though, because we've seen this before with other teams that are like they have massive, massive expectations and everybody's picking them to win like the World Series or whatever. And then they come close but can't quite get there. So
it's hard to do. It's really hard to win a World Series.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we know that being Guardians fans, it's been a long time.
Chirk, Cy Young pick.
Still staying with it. Shane Bieber.
He's American League. Do you want to? How about
whoever James had?
How about Julio Urias?
Whoever that is, yes.
Yes, Julio Urias. Nice. Okay. Let's move on to Rookie of the Year real quick. Just do back-to-back both leagues. I'm going Bobby Witt Jr. and Seiya Suzuki. They're probably like the trendiest picks, but
I've got for the AL. I've got Julio Rodriguez, but in parentheses, Adley Rutschman. I think if he wasn't injured to start the season, Adley Rutschman, but Julio Rodriguez, I'm going to give Rookie of the Year in the AL. And then I've got, again, similar situation. I really liked O'Neal Cruz, but he's not starting in the big league team, so I think that'll be held against him. So I've got Seiya Suzuki.
Yeah, I am going. I'm
so
not.
Julio Rodriguez, Seiya Suzuki.
Yes, I'm not as familiar with the rookies.
Okay.
Church's going Adley Rutschman, catcher for the Baltimore Orioles. He loves him. He's crazy about him. Thinks once he gets healthy.
He's going your backup picks. He's going to go. We're going to have Church have Rutschman and Cruz.
Yes.
All right.
I like that.
I like that.
Right.
O'Neal Cruz is that good, though.
Yes.
He's massive, though. 6'7" as a shortstop is just gigantic.
Future outfielder. He's too tall to play the infield, but
I think so too. They have to move him.
They'll move him eventually.
Yeah.
When they inevitably trade Brian Reynolds, they'll put him to center field.
Yeah, makes sense.
Manager of the year, one in each league. Then we got one more trivia question to send us out on.
All right, manager of the year. I'm going with Alex Cora for the AL.
Mm-hmm.
NL, Buck Showalter.
Okay. All right.
I like your picks, Josh. I have Charlie Montoya for American League. National League, I have Buck Showalter winning for the 4th straight decade. He will have a manager of the year. That's crazy. The 90s, 2000s, 2010s, and the 20s. 4 decades, manager of the year, Buck Showalter.
Both of my manager of the year picks reside in New York. Aaron Boone and Buck Showalter will win it for their respective leagues. That is my
We're all on Buck. I like that we're all on Buck Showalter.
I love Buck Showalter. He's a really good manager.
He's a great dude.
Church,
somebody for manager of the year? Tito Francona.
You're going to pick Tito and
Tito.
You're going to pick Tito?
For American League, National League, who you got?
He's going with Dave Roberts.
Yes.
Dave Roberts.
Okay.
Real good.
All right. We got one last trivia question to send us out. Then we can get out of here and get on with the rest of our Wednesday. Who is the first baseball player in history to hit a solo home run and a grand slam in the first inning?
Babe Ruth.
It is not Babe Ruth.
In the same first inning?
In the first inning. First player to hit a solo homer and a grand slam in the first inning.
Damn, whoever it was, the team must have just destroyed the starting pitcher in the first inning.
Yeah, it was definitely one of those type of games.
Was this Miguel Tejada?
It was not Miguel Tejada.
This feels like I don't know why, but it feels like a Miguel Cabrera type thing.
I was thinking Miggy too.
Miguel Cabrera is a good guess. It is not Miguel Cabrera. This happened on June 11th, 1985. Philadelphia Philly, Von Hayes.
Oh, good old Von Hayes of the Phillies.
Yep. He hit 2 home runs in the first inning. He was the first player in MLB history to hit 2 home runs in the first inning, but it was a solo home run and a grand slam.
What an inning.
All right.
They drove in 5 runs, and the Phillies beat the Mets 26-7.
Oh, God.
That is a football score.
Well, hey, that's our baseball show. We
got one last thing. Are we predictions for the season opener tomorrow? Do the Guardians get their first win?
Yeah, I'm going. Beaver's starting, right? Yeah, we'll win.
So we're all picking the Guardians?
Who's starting for Kansas City? Is it Greinke?
Yes.
40-year-old Greinke?
Yes, it is Kansas. Greinke is starting for the Royals.
Guardians get their first win under the new
Why
name.
not?
Sure.
Positivity. Yeah. We're manifesting this shit.
All right.
Yeah, first win on their way to 162-0, first team ever.
Yes.
They are favored to win the game. They are minus 125 tomorrow if you were to live bet right now.
We will do the same thing for the home opener next week.
Yeah, okay. Well, does anything – and so nobody thinks the Guardians even sniff the postseason?
No.
Okay. Yes, I think they do.
Turk does.
Okay.
Yeah, Turk does.
I don't. I think their offense is just –
The Cavs proved us wrong.
The Cavs did prove us wrong.
That's a good point. But Different
This is
game.
different
set of
game.
circumstances.
Different game.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, that was a great show. I'm excited
Yep.
for baseball season. It's going to be fun.
Yep.
All right.
Be on my couch all afternoon tomorrow.
Yep.
Night.
Hey,
Thank you for tuning in